Well, my name is Shon Hart, and I live here in Flint. Not originally from Flint. I'm originally from New Jersey, and I like to move around too. So I'll be up and down the aisle a little bit, okay? So, but yeah, I'm originally from New Jersey, and I was blessed to receive an athletic scholarship many, many years ago. In '93, where I was brought here to Michigan to pursue my dreams. And the athletic portion of it, part of those dreams came to pass, but not all of it, right? So before I came, one of the most important people or the most impactful person in my life, and I'm not just saying it because it's a room full of lunch ladies or, men, food service, is because my mom was a lunch lady and my father was a janitor. And I'll be honest, when I was a little boy, when my father became a janitor, I was kind of embarrassed, right? Because that wasn't popular. Everybody else, parents was doing something else. And I was just this little boy who just really didn't take advantage of those moments. But he taught me something. Like this janitor who's my father taught me something. And I'll speak a little bit about him, but the biggest thing that I would say that he taught me was the power of forgiveness. Like real talk, that's what he taught me. And I wish I can stand here and tell you that my father was super dope. Like he was this most amazing father. I really wish I can tell you that, but I can't. But he still taught me something. He taught me the power of forgiveness. Because as I grew up, I was extremely bitter because he was not who I thought he should be in my life. So I walked around with a chip on my shoulder. I walked around like the world owed me something because, hey, look, I played football and people celebrated me. But I called him, me and my siblings and we called him by his name. We called him Nate. And it was crazy that even when I was about to have my children, my thing was, he's like, you know what, my children are going to call me Sean. My wife was like, no, they're not. But I'm like, well, what's wrong with that? Like my dad, we called him Nate. She said, that's not what we're doing. That's not what we're going to do in this house. That's not how we're going to operate. They're going to call you, they're going to recognize you and call you dad. And for years, I was bitter because he did not speak to my identity. He didn't speak to my destiny. And I'm talking about me. I'm not talking, you might have had this phenomenal father, this father who was just always present, that was always engaged, that was telling you how amazing you are and how amazing that you will be, that he was always present. He was at every event. But that wasn't my story. That wasn't my story. I wanted to call him dad, but it was difficult to call him dad because he didn't behave like a dad. All he did was provide. And he was present sometime. So I was bitter, man. So he taught me how to forgive because when I became an adult and I got married and I began to have children, I said, there's no way that I'm going to allow my children to walk around the way I was, to become a grown man, to get healthy, to have to go work in a prison just to get healthy. I refuse to allow my children to do that. And it started when I said, you know what? I have to forgive him, even if he never say I'm sorry. So this janitor taught me how to forgive. But boy, that lunch lady. I wish I could have a conversation with her again. She passed away last year. I wish I could have that conversation again because I didn't take advantage of everything that lunch lady said. She used to irritate me and my siblings because she would eat, she would cook something and it's time to eat. She would never eat. She's sitting there watching us eat. And, how is it? Is it good? Do you like it? Is it right? I'm like, Mom, would you sit down and eat? No, she got more excitement. She had more love and she had more joy out of watching us eat. That was her thing. Like, is it good? Like, Ma, it's good. Just chill. Just cool out. It's good. You straight. You put everything into it. But she got so much out of serving people. Out of serving people. She didn't know anything outside of that. It was just serving people. And she wanted to make sure that me and my siblings had a great relationship. She will always talk about us being close and us not forgetting each other. And if something happened to me, make sure that you guys stick together. She was always serving, this lunch lady, always serving. So when she told me 15 years ago that she was going to school to be a lunch lady, I knew she found her sweet spot. You say, how'd she find her sweet spot? Because she wanted to open up a business to sell food and make food for people. But she couldn't. She didn't have the resources. But what happened is that a woman without a degree who didn't think that she can find her life's purpose. And I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about my mama for a moment. She didn't have a degree. She wasn't the most educated, but boy, was she smart. Boy, she knew how to stretch a meal. And she died loving them sardines, man, the most nastiest things in the world. She had some sardines and mustard and put on a sandwich. Like, you want something? No, I don't want any. Hi, no, come on, man. But she found her sweet spot when she became a lunch lady. Like, Mom, why don't you? No. This is what I want to do. I couldn't open up a restaurant, but what I can do, I can go and serve these babies. I could serve these babies. And the crazy thing about it, when I was in school, it was predominantly black and white. But when I go back, it's 90% Hispanic. Very few of us, but my mother did not care. She's like, I'm serving these babies. Even though they don't speak my language, I'm serving them. And she used to come home and tell me stories that, some of these women, they are lazy. They don't care. They won't clean up after themselves. And, I'm like, Ma, like, God sent you there for a reason. Like, stop complaining. Like, you went there for, I'm talking about my mom. I'm not talking about you. I'm like, Ma, everybody don't have the passion that you have. This is a ministry to you, Ma. It's a ministry. The same way that a preacher stands on a pulpit. The same way that a doctor goes in his office and puts on his gloves and put the light on his head and begin to surgically remove or heal whatever was broken. A football player put on his uniform and he practiced on the football field. Ma, that's the same thing that you do. That was important to her. Is that everything that she did, it was about them babies, that she wanted to serve them babies. And there was a couple things that she taught me. And the number one thing that she taught me that I want you to know, she said, Shon, never forget your why. She said, never forget why you do what you do and why you do it. She said, because life will happen and people will not be fair, and people won't treat you right, and people won't say nice things all the time, and things will get difficult, things will get hard, and you will get tired, and you would not want to do the same thing over and over again. You're not going to have the best supervisor. You're not going to be supported all the time, especially if you're a supportive person and you just want to assist and help. See, the problem with some people who love to assist, like there's nothing about serving. The problem sometimes is that you expect people to serve you the same way that you serve them. And then you get discouraged, like, well, they're not. No, listen, no, shut your mouth. Because they wasn't called to serve like you called to serve. That's not their assignment, to serve. You play your position, you let them play theirs. She said, Shon, never forget your why. She said, I go there every single day and I'm going to serve. I'm not going to get distracted, even though I don't like this and I don't like that. I'm not going to get distracted by what my assignment. And then she said, number 2, Shon, it's not about you. What you mean it's not about me? Yes, it is. Yes, it is about me. Said, no, it's not. It's not about you, Shon. It's about the assignment. I'll say it again. It's not about you. I know it's a hard pill to swallow, especially if you have children at home. The world evolves around them. I know what my 3, they think it does. But we have to remind ourselves that it's not about us. It's about them, and it's about the assignment. It's about the assignment. It's about those babies. And I know you hear it all the time that, you do it for those, you never know what happened at home. You never know what food or they're not eating. This is the only, we hear it all the time. But guess what? That's the reality of it. For some, not for all. The other 99 of them, that may not be their reality. But maybe for that one, it was. And it is. So if it's just for that one, it's just for that one. I remember when I told God that I would go, I said, God, I'll go wherever you want me to go. I'll go and speak and preach. I'll go wherever you want me to go. He said, you will? I said, absolutely. My very first speaking engagement, boy, it was a packed house. Me and one other person. And he said, will you still do it? And I'm like, I guess. But I gave that one man everything that I had. I gave it to him like it was a packed house. Because Shon, it's not about you. It's about the assignment. Shon, it's not about you. It's about the calling. It's not about you. You guys are front lines. You hear and see a whole lot of stuff. But what happens sometimes we forget our why because it gets difficult because we're dealing with our own stuff that's at home that may be unresolved as well. When I was still dealing with my father issues, when he told me that I was too small, when I was waiting for the rites of passage, listen to this, and I'm telling you the truth. When my father finally got to the place to where he wanted to give me some words of wisdom as I was going to college, he told me 2 things. This was my rites of passage. He said, Shon, when you go to school, you have as much sex as you can. You ready for the second one? And number 2, he said, you bring home a white woman. That was his rites of passage, telling this 17-year-old boy. He gave me permission to be reckless. He gave me permission to be reckless. So I was carrying those things. So I had to get to a place where I had to listen to the lunch lady over the janitor. Because the lunch lady told me, Shon, it's not about you. It's about the assignment. The lunch lady said, Shon, never forget your why. Because it's going to get difficult in life. And I just ask you, what do you need to do to readjust yourself so you can get back to what you were passionate about when you made the commitment, when you signed that contract? Some signed it because, you just needed to make ends meet. I get it. But that one is still dependent on you. That one is dependent upon you. The third thing she told me, she said, Shon, never be afraid to self-assess. Ooh. Ooh. Why do we have to do that? Why do we have to self-assess? That's not cool. They're the problem. That's not cool. Like, why do I have to look at no, we good. We Gucci. But she said, Shon, never ever go without self-assessing. Always check yourself. See what's the temperature. And they told you that I played football. That was a long time ago. The last time I put on a uniform was in 1997. In 2018 was the first time I self-assessed when I walked off the gridiron. Know why? Because it was too painful. As I was going to serve a young man in the city of Flint, the Creator said, nope, I need to talk to you. You keep on running. We need to talk. This is how you talk to me. Homeboy, we need to talk. And I knew what he was talking about. He said, Shon, you refuse to assess. I need you to go and watch your film. And what he was talking about, he said, Shon, you have not watched your film from the last time you played football. And what happened the last time, to give you a backstory, the last time I walked off the field is when my starting position was taken from me. No, let me rephrase that. It wasn't taken. I gave it away. It wasn't taken. I gave it away. And I found out when I watched my film, because my film showed that I wasn't getting to the spot. The film showed that I wasn't being a man of integrity. The film showed all of my flaws. The film showed where when I was trying to cut corners, when he needed me to be elite, where I was being average. The film showed. And it was too painful for me to watch, to see the responsibility that I had for my personal growth, regardless of what my father did or didn't do. But I said, no, it was Nick Saban. It was them who did it. They was the ones who prevented me from going to the NFL. He said, bro, you know it wasn't them. It was you. You wouldn't take responsibility. You made excuses. You were the one cutting corners when nobody was watching. My question is how many of you refuse to watch your film? It's easy to throw somebody else's film up. Like, we could pop that boy up. Let's watch Patty's film. Like, oh, you see what she doing? Really? Look at, she didn't even wash her hands. Right? Somebody said she probably don't. Stop it. But real talk, like, it's our responsibility to watch our film. Like, to the same degree that we hold children responsible, the same degree, watch this, that we hold our husbands responsible, the same degree that we hold other people who is our supervisors, the same way we hold them to a standard. My question is, do we hold ourselves to that same standard? In every area of our lives. Not just at work, at every area of our lives. So we need to self-assess. That's what my favorite lunch lady said. And my last point is what she said. She said, Shon, I need you to serve, serve, serve. 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 You need to be the greatest servant. We're not in church, but I'm just telling you. We just need to be the greatest servants. We need to serve people. We need to serve humanity. We just need to serve people. When I went to work in that prison, do you think I wanted to sit across from someone who murdered or molested? Or did you think I didn't want to bring, I'm just being honest. Listen, I'm having a transparent moment. I did not want to bring them Jesus. I wanted to send them where I thought they should go. But that's not my job. My job is to serve. Your assignment in this earth, your assignment in your position is to serve. Find your sweet spot. Play your position. Dominate your lane. You ought to be the best one in the building. They ought to be calling you. The babies need to say, no, I want her. I want him. You need to dominate your lane. You don't just wake up and just do it like where you just existing. We need to live on purpose, with purpose, for purpose. This is what we do. It's a way of life. But if we approach it just as it's a job, then yeah, you get real burnt out. Then you see all of the flaws. Then you see all of the issues. But when you see it like Mama Hart, you serve. You're not tripping because the cart came back late. You're not tripping because this same kid is not respecting you. Like, where did he come from? You see, I'm not even talking about the babies. I know you hear that a lot about the babies. No, it's about us. That's what we need. We need a makeover. Like that show, driver, move that bus, and then that house is totally made over. That's what we need. Like, for real, we need a total makeover. Make an adjustment in I could just hear it. Like, you're not the boss of me. You can't tell me to make an adjustment. Hey, it is what it is. It's first to me. All right. I'm not coming in here telling you that you're not living up. I'm talking about as a human being, us as people, as a collective. We all need to do better. I had to apologize to my daughter that I didn't handle a situation right just because I'm the parent. Like, yeah, you missed the involved dad. Like, you didn't handle that one right. There was a time in my parenting where, I was following the Bible. It said, you spoil a child, you spare the rod, you spoil the child. So my thing is like, yeah, like, you going to get that work. I got that work. You going to get that work. Oh, you did something? Pull out the belt. Wah, wah. That was my mentality. I grew up with that. But then when you learn better, you do better. So I had to come back and apologize like, yo, like you was missing it, bro. Like, why do you think? And what it did is show me my insecurities. Like, I didn't know that I had, it forced me to become better at communicating. It forced me to come up with other options. So the same thing, I'm just asking you, as we all make adjustments, I'm just asking that you just make a little adjustment, just like a little shift for the collective. So never forget your why. Never forget your why. Never. Remember that it's not about you. It's about them. It's about the assignment. It's ministry. You're just as important as the doctor, the lawyer, the lunch lady, the bus driver. When you look at a basketball team, there's 5 positions. One is no more important than the other. Some get more glory. LeBron get more glory. I mean, he's a superstar, right? But there's role players. I play my position. My thing is play your position. When that baby comes in and he's hungry, feed him. So that way the teacher doesn't have to deal with it, right? Like you be that buffer. Whatever it is, like where can I fit? Like that's what you do anyway. You're really good at supporting. But what happens is you just like, yo, just acknowledge me though. Like don't walk over me. Like acknowledge what I do. I get it. Because you are very supportive people. You're like, I don't need the limelight. I just, just recognize me. And don't keep shifting everything all the time. Like, come on, once we get a system, let's keep that system going. Stop switching every other. I get it. I get it. I promise you I get it. I get it. But we have to be willing to adjust, right? Why? Because it's not about you. It's about them. Okay? Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.